KOIN 6 News This Morning starts right now.
Thanks for sticking with KOIN 6 News this morning. It is 5:31. You're taking a live look at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, as we wait for this incoming hurricane. Evacuations have been ordered, though here in South Carolina, we have actually seen a few surfers out there kind of taking advantage of some swells. You can see the waves are definitely starting to pick up. We're watching all of this tropical weather very closely this morning. Ken Body's out. I am in for him. I'm Trevor All.
And I'm Jenny Hansen. Yeah, we always see surfers in these cases, and I'm like, they are crazy. Yeah, I would never, ever.
The days before, that surf is perfect, so.
I guess so.
But they should be evacuating. They really should.
Yeah.
All folks at the coast. Yeah, it's going to be pretty bad out there. We'll get a look at those hurricanes in a moment in their storm tracks. But for now, for us, we are seeing a few showers out there across the Portland metro area, moving eastward now and into the gorge. So we'll see a chance for showers out that way this morning, keeping it cloudy with spotty showers through today. Again, here's that radar. Some areas near Canby. Heavy rain cells also out towards the beaches too, seeing heavy rain out there. But otherwise, cloudy skies for us this morning. Temperatures mainly in the upper 50s. Here's our bus stop forecast. Temperatures should stay in the mid to upper 50s heading into our later morning, and it will be smart to bring that rain jacket with you heading out to the bus stop. We'll keep showers in the mix through today, even a chance for thunderstorms heading into our afternoons. We'll talk about later on just how long these showers are expected to last and these cool temperatures, but also those hurricanes and their tracks as they head inland this week. Carly.
It's time for this traffic alert here. A reminder about the crash reported on Sandy at 78. So there it is on the map. And then there's a stall. It's that stalled semi on I-84 eastbound. I told you about it earlier. It is off to the shoulder, but right there on the line. So just watch out for it as you come around that curve on I-84 eastbound at 33rd. That semi truck is going to be there until it can get towed away. This is I-5 southbound, 8 minutes right now from SR 500 to the Fremont Bridge. 5 minutes on I-84 westbound, 26 eastbound, a quick 5-minute drive.
All right, thanks, Carly. The family of a missing hiker found dead from a suspected cougar attack fondly remember their loved one and thank those who searched for her.
The body of Diana Bober was discovered Monday off Hunchback Trail. That's in the Mount Hood National Forest. Our Elise Haas is live this morning with her family's reaction. Elise, good morning.
Good morning. And as we know, cougar attacks are very rare, and this victim was an avid hiker. She loved the outdoors, and when she went missing for a couple of weeks, her family had originally presumed that maybe she had gotten hurt while out hiking in the woods, and in that time, the family remained hopeful. That's all they really could do. But when Diana's body was found, investigators say it was clear that she had fought for her life. And rescue crews found Diana Bober's body on Monday off the Hunchback Trail near Mount Hood. And then authorities announced the results of the autopsy yesterday, which revealed Diana was killed in an animal attack. That's when the family learned that authorities believe a cougar was responsible.
Oh, okay, so she didn't just trip and fall. She fought a cougar, and she fought pretty hard. They don't think the cougar came back. She died of her wound.
This would mark the first fatal cougar attack in Oregon's history. And though it's not the ending they hoped for, Diana's family says they take peace in knowing that Diana was doing something she loved. And her sister says Diana never lived in fear of risk and said she lived her life to the fullest. And she hopes that people can take her sister's life as a lesson to live life to the fullest as well. Reporting live, Elise Haas, KOIN 6 News.
Just such a rare case. Thank you, Elise. But this is actually the second deadly cougar attack in the Northwest this year. You might remember back in May, a mountain biker was killed in a cougar attack east of Seattle. But before that, the last deadly cougar attack in Washington was nearly 100 years ago.
It is 5:35, and Vancouver police are looking for a man who they say held a couple at gunpoint, stole their car, and then kidnapped another man a few hours later. This all started just after 2 Monday morning on East 21st Street. Investigators say the man knocked on the door, pointed a gun at the couple living inside, and demanded money and their car keys. A few hours later, police say he held a security guard at Vancouver Lake Park at gunpoint and eventually put him in the trunk. That security guard did get away. If you know anything, call police.
Senator Jeff Merkley says the Trump administration took nearly $10 million from FEMA's budget this summer to help boost ICE. Merkley shared the documents yesterday. The revelation comes days ahead of Hurricane Florence's expected landfall in North and South Carolina. The senator told USA Today that after the devastation of last year's storms, FEMA should have the funds it needs to be prepared for another disastrous hurricane season. The money it came from various places within the agency, including preparedness and recovery operations. Millions more were also taken from the TSA and the U.S. Coast Guard. Neither FEMA nor Homeland Security responded to requests for comment.
This storm is a monster.
As Hurricane Florence barrels toward the southeastern U.S., officials are not mincing words about the dangers ahead. The National Weather Service is calling Florence the storm of a lifetime. Many coastal towns have already instituted mandatory evacuation orders as that Category 4 storm moves closer to shore.
And hurricane warnings are in effect this morning from just south of Charleston, South Carolina, north to the North Carolina-Virginia border, and those warnings could be extended as the storm continues to shift south.
That's right. The Category 4 hurricane not only expected to land with a punch, but the storm's impact is expected to be felt long after.
Brett Ramadna is in Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina, where residents are making final preparations. Brett?
Hey, good morning. Yeah, that's right. It's sunny now, but that's expected to change very shortly as Hurricane Florence continues its way, making landfall. The expectation here at Wrightsville Beach. Now, we've seen a number of people out preparing, putting up boards, putting up sandbags outside their homes. There's a number of homes behind me on the coastline here that have done the same thing. Take a listen to what people had to say. Evacuations from Virginia down to South Carolina are underway.
We were hoping that it was going to go maybe a little bit more north, but it doesn't look like it. So I think it's going to hit us pretty hard.
Now, already a number of businesses have started boarding up like this one. This is all in preparation as Florence continues its path towards Wilmington.
And for Audrey Longton, who owns the workshop in Wrightsville Beach, her once busy restaurant now sits empty as friends help her move sandbags to block the doors and move furniture into a moving van, hoping for the best, but expecting the worst.
This is what we have done for Matthews as well 2 years ago, but this time it's really serious. So what I've done is renting a truck and I emptied the whole place, and there's nothing left in there.
Tanya Varala is in the same situation. Her store, Cole's Frozen Custard, just opening 2 months ago, and now this new business owner is having to close down early.
It's a big investment, so we're really worried. That's why we're staying in Wilmington. We want to make sure that we can get back to the stores, check everything, make sure everyone's all right.
From homes to businesses, the communities continue to prepare as Hurricane Florence continues its path towards the coast, and the communities are now sitting and waiting.
Wrightsville Beach is a very strong community in general at all time, especially when there is a hurricane. Everybody is just there helping. You know, we are all together in this, so you know, we're all just going to come back all together and see what happens.
Now, as far as mandatory evacuations, those are underway here currently at Wrightsville Beach. Brent Ramadna, back to you.
Appreciate you making time for us, Brent. Stay safe.
And Kelly, you've been telling us that the path of that hurricane kind of changed a little overnight and dipped a little south.
It did, yes. So again, this little red line here, that's the average of our models here showing us where this storm is tracking towards. Right now looking to track towards North Carolina, but South Carolina is now dipping south. This cone now includes Georgia too, so we could see it dipping that way as it heads towards the end of this week and it makes landfall. So again, pretty tricky forecast for those out there in the region here looking at this more closely. Again, right now it's a Category 4 storm and winds are sustained around 130 miles an hour. So this will be a big storm, impacts that storm surge, heavy rainfall and high winds as it makes landfall likely again by Friday early morning. For us, we are quiet out there now. Cloudy skies, temperatures mainly in the upper 50s. As we head into our day today, we'll keep a chance for scattered showers out there and even an isolated thunderstorm again heading into our afternoon. More on that, my full forecast. But Carly, how's it looking out there?
Well, it's 5:40. It's right around the time rush hour usually begins. So we'll take a look in a second and look and see I-5 and see if it's slowing much at all. I have a feeling we're starting to see brake lights. Right now, we're going to get to the crash I told you about. This one is on Sandy at 78th. And then as you head eastbound on I-84, watch out for that stalled semi-truck right there at the end of that curve. It is off to the right shoulder, but very close to that outside line. I-5 southbound is 14 minutes. minutes. And from Vancouver, you've got 11 if you use I-205 and the Glen Jackson Bridge. I-84 westbound, 15 minutes. I-84 westbound just in from I-205 is 6 minutes. And I just want to show you that I-5 southbound. It's, well, that's supposed to be I-5 southbound, as you can see, but it's not the right camera. But I do know that it is slowing a little bit, and you will find some brake lights right before the interstate bridge.
All right, thank you, Carly. 541, and some of the human remains returned to the U.S. from North Korea have been identified as U.S. troops. The service members were killed decades ago while fighting in the Korean War. North Korea returned their remains this summer. Yesterday, Defense Secretary James Mattis confirmed 2 sets of remains were identified, and further identification efforts are underway. Mattis added that U.S. and North Korean officials are discussing the return of even more remains.
A new CNN poll finds Americans are divided on whether the Senate should confirm Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court. It found 38% say senators should confirm him and 39% say they should not. Contentious hearings didn't really change the public's opinion of Kavanaugh. The new numbers are similar to CNN's August poll, when 37% supported his confirmation and 4 in 10 did not support it. At that time, Kavanaugh had the lowest level of support for a Supreme Court nominee since Robert Bork. His nomination was rejected by the Senate back in 1987.
The legendary boxer Oscar De La Hoya says he's planning to run for president in 2020. That's according to USA Today. De La Hoya made the announcement in Las Vegas, where he's promoting an upcoming boxing match. The 45-year-old Olympic champ says he will run under the Democratic Party.
I'm sure that's sincere and not to promote boxing.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I mean, other people have run that I didn't
That's at this
expect.
point, yeah, we can just let anybody
Who knows?
run.
Yes. Okay. 543. You're watching KOIN 6 News.
Coming up, former Vice President Joe Biden wants Americans to be informed about politics. We'll tell you how he's connecting with millennials. Plus,
step off, beardy come lately. There cannot be.
Stephen Colbert is taking on Alex Trebek, why the late night host says that he has a beef with the game show host.
There's only one way to settle this, Alex Trebek. You and me on my show.
Welcome back at 5:46. We've been keeping a close eye on a lot of weather around here. We had that rain yesterday.
Yeah, there was rain this morning too. It's very exciting. And of course, Kelly has a look also at the hurricanes and what's happening with those, because some major danger ahead for a lot of people on the East Coast. She has a look at all of that right now, Kelly.
Yeah, that's right. Looking more specifically at Tropical Storm Olivia. Here's that track now, looking to make landfall sometime today, likely by this morning or in this afternoon. But as a tropical storm now, sustained winds around 45 miles an hour. So the winds really aren't the biggest issue for this storm pushing in. The biggest issue will be those rainfall numbers that we see. Maui up to about 12 inches, some isolated areas on the northeastern side of the mountains. They're getting maybe up to 15 inches. Honolulu projected to see about 8 inches of rain through today and into the rest of this week as well. So again, lots of folks dealing with flooding as the system rolls through. And of course, Hurricane Florence, a major storm out in the Atlantic, that's expected to make landfall as we move into a Friday early morning. But for us, we are pretty calm out there, dealing with a few showers, but temperatures mainly in the 50s now. We're seeing cloudy skies. It's a calm start for much of the region here. Here's that low system and that upper level trough that we are tracking that is just sitting over us over the northwest and pushing showers our way. So heading into today, expect another mixed bag of weather type of day. We'll see cloudy skies, but also some sun breaks by the afternoon and scattered showers pushing in just like this. So in Portland right now, at the moment, looking fairly dry. Some areas up north there getting a few light showers, but so far we are seeing just light showers. Areas south and those yellows there at the beaches, heavier rainfall. So we may see some heavy downpours, even a thunderstorm still possible heading into today, but overall scattered light showers will be moving in through today with sun breaks in there as well. By tonight and into tomorrow morning, looking at fairly dry conditions, but those showers will move back in. We'll keep a chance for showers through Thursday, also Friday and Saturday as well. So again, this type of pattern here sticks into our weekend, looking at Monday to see our first day of some dry conditions. Here's a look out towards the beaches in the mid-60s today. Tillamook 64 degrees. We'll keep it mostly cloudy out there. Seeing some areas of showers now. Lincoln City pretty wet this morning. We'll see showers throughout the afternoon. In the valley today in the upper 60s, so staying cool. And yesterday we got about 0.12 inches of rain, and we haven't seen that much rain since mid-June. So felt pretty good out there to get that dampening. Temperatures again in the 60s today in the valley. Mostly cloudy skies and showers and a chance for thunderstorms heading into our afternoon. In central Oregon, Madras and Bend in the upper 60s. A beautiful day, mostly sunny skies out towards eastern Oregon. Pendleton, 71 degrees for today and sunny conditions out there. Towards the Dalles, 71 today. We'll see a chance for morning showers, but mostly cloudy skies and afternoon sunshine. Here's our 7-day forecast, keeping temperatures in the upper 60s. And again, that's below average for this time of year. We should be in the mid to upper 70s. So we are cooler and we are showery out there. We'll keep those isolated showers in the mix through the weekend as temperatures stay mainly in the upper 60s. Carly.
Well, we have several traffic alerts to get to. We'll start with this new one. This is a reported rollover crash on Barnes and Burnside there, and that is definitely a single vehicle rollover crash where a car is on its top. So again, Burnside at Barnes, watch out for that. Now over here we have the reported crash on Sandy and 87th, which I told you about, and then a new crash reported on the I-84 eastbound exit ramp to 181st. So you can see that looks like it involves a vehicle and a semi-truck, and traffic is slow exiting I-84 eastbound at 181st. So I-5 southbound now has rush hour delays. It's 10 minutes in from SR 500. Expect to see the slowing from Mill Plain to the Interstate Bridge. You won't find a delay on 205 southbound. It's 9 minutes from SR 500 to I-84. 11 minutes only from Highway 224 to I-5, and 217 southbound looks great with 8 minutes.
Can really see it slowing on those cameras. Thank you, Carly. A proposed ban on plastic bags in Salem is now on hold. The council took public comment on the ordinance Monday night. They ended up tabling the issue until late next month. A number of councilors said they need more time to consider the specifics of the proposal and possibly provide outreach to businesses that would be impacted by a ban. As it's written now, stores would be banned from providing plastic bags at checkout, and most stores would have to charge customers for recyclable paper bags.
Now, voters in Washington will decide on a first-of-its-kind direct fee on carbon pollution. If passed, Initiative 1631 would charge industrial companies that use or sell fossil fuels. That fee would start in 2020 at $15 per metric ton, and it increases $2 a year. Supporters say if the measure passes, it will fight climate change. Opponents say consumers will end up paying higher energy costs.
We do have a health alert for you. Officials say you should stay out of the water at D River Beach. That's near near Lincoln City. Recent water samples found above normal levels of fecal bacteria, and that can make people sick. So you should stay out of the ocean and avoid any pools of water on the beach. Construction on a new Oregon State Police crime lab is now underway in Pendleton. The 9,500 square foot facility is expected to cost more than $1 million. The State Forensic Services Division operates labs in Bend, Central Point, Pendleton, Portland, and Springfield. State Police started planning for a new facility in Pendleton in 2014, but the project faced pushback in the state legislature over budget concerns. Well, Joe Biden wants young Americans to understand political issues and vote in the midterm elections. And that's why he's partnering with media company Attention to host 10 episodes of a new short-form series called Here's the Deal. The former vice president will explain his take on issues like health care, jobs, education, and gun violence in these videos. The first one launches today on Instagram's video platform IGTV, with new episodes debuting each week, and each episode will be distributed on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube on Thursdays. The vice president is new to Instagram. He just launched his account last week. He already has 1 million followers.
I have got a beef with Trebek's beard, and I'll put it in a way Jeopardy fans will understand. The clue is Alex Trebek. Who's trying to steal my new look? Because check out this daily double. Look at this. Look. He's just sporting a cheap Canadian knockoff of the Colbeard.
Stephen Colbert having a beard off with Alex Trebek. The new season of Jeopardy premiered this week with the game show host sporting that new look. Now, Colbert did not like that and is now challenging Trebek to a trivia face-off on his show. The loser shaves. We will have to wait and see, of course, if Trebek takes him up on that offer.
I'll take categories and contests that Trevor will always lose for 400. A beard off.
I noticed you have a little something happening.
A little something.
There's a little something happening on Trevor's face.
Which is a lot of something for me.
Yeah, you could maybe try a beard off.
I would lose, for certain. That's guaranteed.
5:54, you're watching KOIN 6 News.
And still ahead, Portland was the epicenter for some weekly soccer honors. Adam is up next to let you know which timber and which thorn got the award.
Coming up, Hurricane Florence creeps closer. We're in North Carolina as residents of the Southeast prepare for the arrival.